Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here, this time reviewing on issue 2 of Star Wars Princess Leia. Now, as you know, Star Wars Princess Leia, like other stories like The Inquisitors, Mace Windu, and Darth Vader, were meant to be new comics from the whole Disney Star Wars run after Disney acquired Star Wars. And the best way I can describe the Disney Marvel comics are basically the original run, but slightly watered down. And the cover mainly has Leia, R2, as well as her new friend, guns and ready, so let's get on with the story. The story mainly starts off, obviously, after issue 1, where we see how Leia, as well as Even, mainly sit down to have their meal, and we see how Leia's father is trying to prepare her for other lessons and duties and so forth, and we see how Leia's not really much of a sort of princess, but more of this strong warrior taking after her mum and her father. And we see right away that basically Bail Organa is trying to prepare her for the outside world and making her understand that she has other responsibilities. And you can tell that Bail Organa is trying to keep Padme's spirit alive and pass on his own wisdom as well as Padme's onto her. And we also see right away how some people who are on the planet Naboo are trying to slowly recover after what happened to Alderaan. And you can tell some of the people who did survive the planet's destruction are trying to recover about what happened to their planet, their culture, their friends and family, and so forth. And we see right away that Leia and Evan mainly make it to Naboo, but plan to go incognito, undercover, and of course, right away they make it to the planet Naboo, and we see how Leia gets the first glimpse of the former Queen of Naboo, Padme, and you can tell right away that this is basically her seeing the picture of her actual mother, but not knowing full well. And we see right away Leia meets an old friend known as Lord June. And yeah, this is just basically Lando Calrissian, but with a slightly lighter skin tone. And we see right away he plays the whole smooth boy dynamic, and you can tell right away from his emotions as well as his sort of acting all nice that something's not right. And the only one who's suspicious is Leia's friend Evan, who says, "I'm more worried about the price on your head and the false name you gave back at the starport." And we see right away that, yeah, he's managed to find the other survivors. And we see right away, obviously, how some people from the club are trying to process everything that happens. Others are trying to not worry the others, and so forth. And we see how Leia, Evan, as well as R2 make it to this sort of nightclub, but unaware that the owner of the club blames Leia for what happened to Alderaan, and it's clear from his expressions that he's just finding an easier target than actually seeing things from her perspectives. And right away sends out hired goons to help deal with the problem, and the creature saying, "Weapons! Weapons now!" And we see right away, just as the female creature is quickly taken down, of course, her sort of friends and that get quickly taken down, and we see right away that the owner of the club decides to kind of take out Leia, blaming her for all the problems she caused. And of course, ends up getting shot on the head, and of course, the nightclub co-owner wants to try and make things right, and we see how Leia, as well as the co-nightclub owner, have to kind of get the other people who are still alive from Alderaan's destruction off the planet, and have to kind of get help the best they can. And right away, Lord June is quickly confronted by Leia over his actions, but of course plays the whole smooth boy route, and rather than actually learning from it the first time, Leia still kind of semi-trusts him, not learning anything from this. And of course, they get another ship, and we see how obviously the sort of young girl talking with her sister Tula that she's alright, everything's fine, unaware that she's working for the Empire, ending the story here. So, my best thoughts about issue 2 is okay, but it just feels like we've seen the same stuff before with Empire Strikes Back. I think what made it work was Lando was under basically threat, problems, and that he was kind of forced into, and you got this sense when he learnt more about Vader's deals and him sort of owing them. Even he knew this was going too far. The problem with Lord June is he gets off easy, he has no real redemption, and it comes across with Leia saying, "Oh, I forgive you. Here's a cookie. And by the way, could you get me another ship?" This is not how redemption stories work. You're meant to show concern, how people have to kind of earn back trust, and how it takes time. It's an okay story, still alright, but it still deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Book Reviewer here, signing out.